smallest gathering we've ever had. But thank you for coming, everybody. So we're going to mix it up a little bit this month. Typically, for the last 19 years, we've tried to keep this as anti-commercial as possible. But tonight, what we realize is that because we have a fluctuating group of attendees, you know, some are loyal, they come here every time, and some are new. And not everybody knows what Quardev does. And so we're going to start off tonight with Cindy, who's one of our recruiters. We're going to end up tonight with Jim, who's our sales guy, superstar. And in the middle, we're going to have our keynote speaker. And so I'll let you guys take it from here.
Awesome, thank you, Joe.
Yep. Meanwhile, I'm going to have a little sip of wine.
Okay. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to make this work. This part. Got me all set up today. So I've been coming to these. I've been here for 3 years now, and hey, Clark, slideshow from the beginning. Thanks. And when I first started here at Quardev, I was solely focused on supporting a couple of our key clients, and the positions were most like at that time. So 3 years ago, the market was totally different. We were focused a lot on direct hire opportunities, and over time, our client base and our client needs started to shift, and so I was becoming more and more exposed to contract, consulting, contract to hire, and those types of positions. And then what I realized was this opportunity that we have here as a community was really beneficial for all of us because we were using the time to kind of check in with each other and find out what's going on career-wise for you. Maybe you're starting a startup, or maybe you just started a new role, or maybe your team is expanding, or maybe you're at a place where you're kind of looking to do something new. And we were using this time to build these kind of deep relationships and deep partnerships. And so I just wanted to kind of expand a little bit on that because we're in this new year. We've wrapped up Q1, and we have a couple of trends that are kind of coming out. So I wanted to focus on those and then kind of talk about how to partner with our recruiting team, or recruiters in general, to kind of grow those partnerships and deepen those relationships to help with your career. So, and part. It's not working.
Try a spacebar. Here are the slides.
Yeah.
Left and right key?
Well, we were trying to decide whether we were going to use Wi-Fi or not. So we'll just figure this out. But then we'll talk about the market in general. So something that's happened Q1 that we've noticed right away is the employment rate itself for the IT industry overall. And this is specific to the Seattle and surrounding. Right now, it's under 2%, right, as far as unemployment in the industry. So you would think that there's a lot out there and it'd be really easy for you to make a switch if that's what you wanted to do. On the flip side, what we're finding out is that more than 3,700 people are migrating to our state year over year. So the competition in this area, in this discipline, is also increasing. We still have the major companies that are focusing on contract and consulting roles, and we also have some companies that are really starting to focus on the FTE roles. But those FTE positions, we're seeing a real trend to more experienced professionals. So that kind of, it leaves probably like the first third of you, or people in general, kind of out of that market.
It's still not advancing.
Hmm?
I'm not getting into advance either.
Yep, well, we'll just go through here. So what I wanted to kind of focus on tonight is how do you stand out in a crowded market? And that kind of brings us back to our first focus, and that is partnerships. We're finding that it really is who you know, and it really is how deep and how solid that relationship is with that person. Of course, we all know reputation, your resume, which still matters, your interviewing skills, and your ability to kind of network within the circles of those companies that you're targeting still counts as well. The one thing that has come out over the past 3 months is that it takes just one great partnership to completely turn your job, your career, that whole environment for you around. So it only takes one great partnership out of all of the partnerships that you're cultivating day to day. And we're realizing that the partnership factor, why that's super important, is because what it's doing is it's leading to referrals. And we're seeing a real trend right now with hiring managers in particular that are looking to the referral candidates first. And you benefit tremendously if you happen to be that person for a couple of reasons. First of all, you have the highest applicant to hire rate as a referral, as opposed to going in blind to a new organization. And then the other thing that we're finding out, and this is based on feedback from the people that take the jobs, we're finding out that your job satisfaction overall increases, and you tend to stay in those roles longer. So 47% of people that accept a role through a referral can stay 3 years or more in that role. Also, if you're in a hurry to find a new position, the referral is probably the fastest way for you to land that job. So one way to build these partnerships, you all have friends, you have coworkers you've been working with, you have managers who know you. And then the other way that our team is hoping that you'll kind of look to us to help you build is through a recruiter network. So we have 3 people here at Quardev that are building relationships with our clients. Adam Green is a person you can rely on. Myself, Christy Amand is another, she's our director. She's here as well. And you can reach out to us at any time to kind of find out what's the pulse in the industry, what roles are open. Maybe you've applied somewhere and we can help you get in. The drawback that I hear people tell me is that sometimes it's not really easy to work with a recruiter. So some of the things that I've heard is that recruiters don't get back to you. I think probably the biggest complaint that I receive is about transparency. They reach out to you for a role. It turns out it's not the role that they said it was. So I'm putting it out there, kind of the mutual respect aspect is key. So choose a recruiter that you know will provide you the transparency and the respect that you need kind of going through. We are only one avenue for you as you kind of make this transition or look to make a career transition. So do still maintain those relationships with your core network. Something that we're finding as well is that if you know somebody on a team, they may be able to receive a bonus or some kind of sign-on incentive to bring you on, or a bonus incentive to bring you on. So help them to take advantage of that. And then the other kind of key here to partnering with recruiters and partnering with your network in general is kind of the respect equation and the reputation equation. So focus on your brand within the industry as you're looking to build these relationships and looking to partner. And make sure that when you are engaging, even with a recruiter, you never know, like they might end up as the HR director at the company that you want to get into next. So just keep those lines of communication open and respectful, and then hopefully the timing will be right and we can work together to help you find that next position. So that is kind of what we do. Do you have any questions or anything that's come up with a recruiter relationship or a network relationship?
So if you're approached by recruiters, you don't know them. So
okay.
Versus the other way around, where certainly if I'm choosing a recruiter, then we can have a chat, we can talk and look each other up on LinkedIn, etc. But if you just like, oh, this person called me and someone's out looking for a position, I don't I don't have the option of digging into them as easily.
So you are correct. And one thing you can do with a recruiter right away, like when you're on the phone, if they happen to catch you, I don't know how many of you actually pick up the phone if it's a number that you don't recognize. Traditionally, it's through email first. The one thing you can do right away is, and I tend to do this with people that I'm reaching out to, is I let them know how urgent the role is. You can do the same. How urgent is the role? I'd really like to meet you first, right? The other thing that if you're using LinkedIn, you can go ahead and look and you can see who you're connected to. Some recruiters share their profile, their connections, some don't. But use that as an opportunity to reach out and say, hey, it looks like you maybe know this person or have worked with this recruiter. What are your impressions? So that's probably a really good way to go. And then also, as you're working with somebody, if you set up your expectations right away, right? Please follow up with me within 24 hours, whatever your expectations are. Should they start to waver, pull them back, right? Help them to become the resource that you want them to be. So, is that helpful?
Yeah.
Any more questions or anything that you're running into right now in the industry that maybe we can help find some answers to? No? Yes.
I found that with recruiters, they usually act as your manager when you start the role too, as a contractor. And they don't really do much of anything as a manager per se. And that's kind of going along with that too, I guess, is how contractor used to mean like someone who's very specialized and had high-priced skills, to hire out. And now it's become kind of like a euphemism for try before you buy. Or
for instance, for a contract to hire position?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what can a recruiter do to help you feel more mentored, managed, cared for during that onboarding process, like those first 90 days? What could they be doing?
It's basically what I've seen is like the recruiter will reach out to you, like, hey, how's it going? Like a month and a half in, and got any questions or anything? Like, and then I never hear from them for another 3 months or so.
Okay, until the contract is and you're looking for, or am I going to extend? So that is an excellent point. Again, it kind of goes back, we kind of talked about this, setting the expectations. It's really helpful. I mean, it's almost kind of like dating, right? So it's really helpful to let them know right out of the gate, hey, this is a company I'm not familiar with, or this is a manager maybe I've heard a few things about. Can you check in with me? Can we have a weekly check-in, or can we have a monthly check-in, however you want to do it? I know that here, Jim is excellent at this. We do have check-ins with our team. A lot of our team members have been with us for years, and we do absolutely care about staying in touch and knowing what's happening and being there to help mitigate things that might come up, especially as you're trying to get on board with a new team. So set that expectation up in the beginning, and then find out if there's a backup as well. So if your recruiter maybe doesn't have the bandwidth, maybe they're on vacation, who knows, understand kind of the org chart there. Who would the backup be that you can go to within the agency? That might be beneficial.
One thing that we like to do, and I kind of warn people, so let's assume it's an individual contributor out on a client side, I'll tell them going in that I'm going to check in with you after the first week. And just fair warning, I'm going to check in with the manager, not so much that I'm checking up on you, but I want to see if you're feeling like you got the tools that you need, that they're providing what you need, that everything's kind of cool with you. And then completely independently, I'm going to ask the manager, hey, is my resource ramping up appropriately? Is there something else that we can do? And if you do that up front, and you kind of triangulate between that group, if you need to do a course correction, oh, I hate where I have to park, or my commute is horrible, or I have to sit in the corner, or whatever, big or small things, you can do that course correction, and then it can be a successful engagement, as opposed to I'm just throwing you to the wolves out there and you're on your own. But oftentimes, because people are so used to, hey, the only time I see my recruiter or account manager is at the end of the contract or something bad's going on, I'll just warn them, hey, I'm going to be checking in, and I'll do that on a regular basis with the manager as well, because they're paying a premium for the service, and I want them to feel like they're getting something and that we care about it. But I'll continue to do that until they say, you know what, weekly check-in's not needed. Let's go every 2 weeks. You know, why don't you check back with me in a month? Why don't you check back with me in next quarter? But let them set the frequency, and then keep the channels open. But it is something of an anomaly, because, and I just tell people up front, hey, it's not you, it's just part of the practice that we do to make sure that everybody's cool with what's going on. And it seems to help. You know, if for some reason, maybe it's a horrible situation. You know, Jim, what did you do? This client is crazy. Why did you put me out here? You know, that it's possible, it happens. And so, you know, if you got to get out of there, there is a, you know, proper way to transition out, as opposed to, I'm just going to put up with it until I explode and then I got to go. You know, you're going to leave, right? It's a bad situation. Might as well talk about how to do that. Maybe we can backfill, and hopefully most of our clients are pretty good, and we're giving you a realistic snapshot of what you're getting into. So you're going in with your eyes open. And if we're wrong, we want to get better at, you know, we'll always ask after an interview or after you land there, what could we have done to prepare you better for this? Did we give you a realistic snapshot of what the environment is like? Did you know what you were getting into? But we want to keep the lines of communication open. And if it is, you know, sometimes it might be a really challenging client, but it might be a really cool place to be, and it's going to look good on your resume, and there's a technology that you really want to be getting exposed to. So you're going, you know what, I'm going to suck it up for 3 months or 6 months, and these guys are paying me to learn this stuff. I'm going to do that. It might be worth it to do that, but it might not. So the big thing is, you know, if it's not a good situation, you got to get out. Great, let's talk about that. We'll get you out of there. You know, but it's all about communicating and not just checking in every 6 months or whenever the statement of work runs out. And you're right about the contract to hire. So if I get a, hey Jim, I need a project manager, or hey Jim, I need an estate. One of the things I'll ask is why? Is this a core part of your business that's never going away? That you're gonna need this resource, this type of resource forever? Well, yeah, it is. You know. Well, why are you contracting, and why are you doing contract to hire as opposed to hiring a full timer? Because this is a core part of your business. Oh, well, you know, that's paid for by somebody else, and I don't have the FTE headcount, so there's some justification for that. I want to know why. And it's kind of funny. People are like, hey, we're giving you an order. Are you happy about this? Well, no, I want you happy about writing the check and make sure that you guys are doing this for the right reasons for your business, and at least that we understand what those are. The contract to hire thing has become much more popular over the last few years because it is a kind of a rent to own, try before you buy, both on the client side and the candidate side. You can get in there and churn away for 6 months and say, yeah, I want to be a part of this, or hey, this was really cool, but I think I'll go on. So it can be beneficial on either side.
I don't understand why that is, considering that Washington's an at-will state, and so, you know, it's not like I've worked in New York where, you know, you have to have probable cause for termination, even if it's just, you know, we're getting rid of the position. So, you know, the fact that it's an at-will state means that both parties can walk away at any time without any repercussions.
It's not so much that they're worried about the legality of it, it's just darn expensive to invest your time in ramping somebody up in your environment. Now you know your processes and everything around that. You know, that's an investment for any client to do. And they're not so worried about getting sued about getting rid of the person, but they want to be sure that they're meshing with the team and picking everything up, and so that's a good reason to do it.
Fair enough.
But you know, the big thing for us is we just want to know why. And there are great reasons. There are bad reasons. Hey, I had extra budget and I threw a whole bunch of money at this project and I put 10 guys on it. Yeah, did anybody manage those 10 people? Well, I put 10 guys on it, right? Yeah. So, sorry, Cindy.
No, that's totally fine. That's what I was referring to. That's something we do that's a little bit different. It is more successful in the long run, right? So should you decide to become a full-time member of that team, maybe you advance and become a hiring manager for that team, like you'll just have that intimacy with the process and with the relationships on the foundation. Working with us that comes from that. So, and if you're in a position now where you feel like you're not getting the attention or you're not receiving the feedback that you're after, for goodness sakes, you know, shake that tree and start those conversations. because you certainly own it and you will benefit from making a little bit of noise. You had a question?
Yeah, when I hear what you're saying about what a recruiter's supposed to do for the candidate when the candidate goes on the job, I've had just about every recruiter that I've done more than talk to on the phone has made those kind of promises about this, that we will support you on the job. None of us ever done that.
And again, I think it goes to what we talked about in the initial, where we have to set those expectations, because the support that you require in a new role might be different than the support you require or expect in a role, right? And the support that you're expecting in job A might be completely different from the support you'll expect in job B. And so keeping those lines of communication open, I think, is huge. And then also can hold us accountable. And I'll be honest, like there are times, I have times during the day or even like a couple of days in a row where so many like fires start to happen, right? And I haven't had a chance to email somebody back, and I haven't had a chance to call somebody back. And it's like you really feel it as a recruiter. Like you really feel like, dang, you know, I'm letting these people down. And you realize these things are happening. So we also look to you to kind of hold us accountable. Say, hey, you were going to email me yesterday. What's up? Like, are we still on? So feel free to do that as well. It is a give and take. We are partners. That was the whole point of me wanting to have a chance to chat today. And building that partnership takes a little bit of work, and it's absolutely worth it. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. And just to back up what you said, I mean,